Okay, so let's take a look at how you can set up Cloud SQL service in Google Cloud Platform. So first thing, make sure to set up your Google Cloud account, and once you create the project and billing setup, you will find dashboard that looks like this. Now we can click on dashboard. You also have access to some of the services from here. You can also access all the products. So if I go to dashboard, it will look something like this, right? Now let's go to all the products. So click on menu, products, and then let's go there to all products. This will regularly pop up till you get familiar with the space and click on leave. Now once you go there, next would be to going to your database section and then click on SQL, which is Cloud SQL, right? So here we will be setting up one of the MySQL instance, right? So here you can see create instance with your free credits. So we will be using free credits and click on create instance. So you get three options here: SQL Server, Postgres, and MySQL. For now I will be using only MySQL. In other sessions I may cover Postgres and SQL Server, right? So there are also options of using other database engines, but in that case you will have to go through your virtual machine and compute instance, because in that case you will be installing instance of Linux and then have your database, right? So pretty much we are covered over there. Now next thing, choose MySQL. Now once you select the MySQL, you will have to give some of the configuration data, then move ahead, right? Here you see, in order to create instance you have to enable the compute engine API first, so we will enable that. Once enabled, it will take a bit of time. It will also notify you through notification, right? If you are using free credits, you will be seeing how many are left on the top and how many days remaining. You can also activate to full account so that you will be charged on that basis, which you should do after 90 days and not before. Once it is enabled, it will show you the option to add instance. So we'll start with adding one of the instance. So I will name MySQL, or let's say dev MySQL, right? This is the instance name I will set up. I can also generate a password, or I will choose one for myself. I can also choose no password and go with SSH option. That also works. But if you are trying to use some of the external tools, then using the password is necessary. Now here you can paste the password, then you can set the password policy when you are generating it. But if you don't want, you can simply toggle and go back. Here also you have option to choose between the LTS versions of MySQL. So I'll be choosing MySQL 8. Then choose the configuration to start with, production or development. Okay, so it will reduce the cost. You can also check the details. So here less number of CPUs and lower RAM as well. So we'll go with development, then we'll choose region and zone, right? So let's pick the region closer to Asia. I can choose between Seoul, Mumbai, Delhi, Singapore, all closer to me, right? Then zone, I'm not going to touch that. Then customize your instance. I can choose the configuration where I can choose machine type, where I can choose between CPU, right? So I can choose lightweight and reduce my memory and CPU. So 2 eCPU, 8 memory. I can also go with storage option. So SSD is recommended. I can go with as low as 10 GB. Right, and you can see enable automatic storage increase, so that should be there. Overall cost will be given at the end. Meanwhile, we can use connection, public IP, private IP, and others. Right. So apart from that, there is data protection option, which is for automatic backup. Point in time recovery, I can disable this because this is just a test machine. Deletion protection I can enable. Then comes maintenance for any window, any order update. Right, then there are flags. You can add, remove, query insights, label. Right, so once we go through all of that, we can check the summary here. Currently we are not given any price or so. Considering this is lightweight, it shouldn't cost much. Right, as you can see, 2 eCPU, 8 GB, 10 GB storage, and typical throughput of 4.8, and then your backup manual available, single zone. Now all of these settings selected, you will notice that this is your instance ID and the password that you entered. Also, one more thing, your username would be root because that's what MySQL uses. So let's create the instance. So it will take a bit of time and it will show you the status on the right, and also at the top you will find notification. Obviously it will also redirect once everything is functional. So we will be moving to that page, and here you see instance is being created. This may take few minutes. While operation is running, you may continue to view the information about the instance. Right, so here as you can see, this is the configuration, the name of instance for connection name. So if you are using any external tool, this will be the connection name for your driver. Right, apart from that, you can even check options for connections. Once it is done, we can also create database from this tab. Once the instance is created, you will find that it will show you the screen check and that says runnable. So we are working, and next thing you will be getting your public IP address, connection name, also the CPU utilization once it starts running. Right, you can also restart or stop this instance so that you can connect later. Now I need to show you the connections, right? So from the left hand side you will have the sidebar where you have connection options. So we need this public IP address just in case whenever your external tool requires you to access this particular IP address. Now on the right hand side, as you see the uploads and operations, it will be showing that you have created your instance. So I named it DevMySQL. Right, so another thing is checking out some of the things specific to IP addresses. I'm allowing public IPs to access this. Right, I can also allow private IPs and limit to set of IP address. Right, so that part covered. Let's take a look at security. What are we allowing? I can allow only SSL or without SSL. So if you only allow SSL, then your option at the time of connecting to something like Azure Data Studio or DBWare may require this checking option. There is also connectivity test. You will have to enable the API for that. Apart from that, we can take a look at users and database. User, currently I'm the only user here, and the database, here you can create the database. Right, and for that what I can do is I can make use of Cloud Shell just to show you how that works. Right, then there is backup, replica, and operations. These are the features you will access when you need them, right? For just a test purpose, I don't think you will have to worry about backup, replica, etc. Here you see our instance is started, so there will be CPU utilization. As long as this instance runs, I will be charged on per hour basis, right? Now the details that we need is this public IP address that I will have to enter. Also, I will have to use root as my username and the password that I used for connection to this instance. So we managed to set up Cloud SQL with MySQL instance on Google Cloud Platform.